Today on Larry King Now, Game shares his story on how one man went from the streets of Compton to rap superstar and millionaire entrepreneur. Probably been misunderstood by people.
Nah. I would give people the benefit of the doubt and say they knew exactly who I was because that's what I gave them, and now I'm just turning over a new leaf. I wasn't really trying to, infest the community or anything like that. I was really just trying to survive.
Plus, you're only 33, right?
Only. I love that. Say it again.
Yeah, well, when you're my age, it's only.
Yeah.
I got ties older than you.
Yeah.
That's all ahead on Larry King Now. After selling millions of albums, acting in hit films, and starring in his own reality show, the Grammy-nominated rapper is giving back to the world with the launch of the Robin Hood Project. Game plans on donating a total of $1 million of his own money to people in need around the globe. We welcome Game to Larry King Now. What is the Robin Hood Project?
It's funny you asked that. The Robin Hood Project is about not even 3 weeks old. I was in Australia, and I was kind of coming out of a grocery store, and I had $100 in Australian currency, and I took it in the grocery store, and I spent about 70, 80 of it on groceries. And when I came out, there were two Nigerian kids who ended up being brothers, kicking a soccer ball around the parking lot. And so I have 3 kids, and I love kids, so I always, talk to kids, interact with children. So I asked him his name. He said John, and I had 20 bucks in my hand, and so I was like, I just gave it to him. The smile on his face was just tremendous. And he said, how they just came from Nigeria, him and his family, and they didn't live far, and how much this $20 was going to help him. He couldn't wait to run home and, show his mom. So he did that. And so I went off on, kept on to my tour. And for the next 3 days, I couldn't really sleep because I really wanted to just better his situation. But I didn't have enough money on me that day. I usually have at least a couple $100s on me, and I would have given him, given it all to him had I been at home in Los Angeles, but I wasn't. And so the fact that I wasn't able to help him the way that I thought fit on that day made me just create the Robin Hood Project, and I just start giving people in Australia, homeless people, $100 here, $200 there. And while I was there on my Instagram, I saw a picture of a little girl who was murdered in Los Angeles, and I instantly got on the phone with my business manager and told him to find the parents, and we ended up giving $10,000 to the funeral costs, and then I came back and attended the funeral and just furthered the Robin Hood Project, and that's,
So you told us to give away $1 million.
Yeah.
And Robin Hood robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. You're not robbing. You're just giving.
Yeah, I'm just giving hood, maybe.
How do you do this? How do people reach you? How do you find them?
We got an email set up. We just got the charity, the nonprofit set up, and we're getting a tax ID in a few days. I told you it's all brand new, so everything.
So you're taking donations too from other people who want to help.
Right.
So it's just your money, and then other people will give to you, and you'll give it away.
Exactly. Or we'll give it away together. Just a few days ago, me, Khloe Kardashian, and Lala Anthony, we all pitched in $5,000 along with Top Dog from Top Dog Entertainment, and that totaled a sum of $20,000, and we gave it to the family of Martha Sanchez, the woman who was murdered in the 99-cent store about a week ago. And so some people, are coming in and wanting to help.
You're not only giving it then to victims of crime.
No, I'm actually just, how I do it, Larry. My heart feels a certain way when I read a certain story, and it feels the same way every time for the stories and the people that I've donated to. And when I get that feeling inside myself, that's the story. I feel the same way.
How do people reach you, people watching us?
Instagram is, usually the best way because it's easier to, see pictures.
How do I look it up on the Game?
The documentary. Yeah, so.
The documentary.
Yeah, it's the name of my first album. That's my Instagram name, and yeah, just comment or send your story through, and I'll probably read it by chance, and that's usually how it goes.
Oh, what a great thing. You've probably been misunderstood by people.
Nah. I would give people the benefit of the doubt and say they knew exactly who I was because that's what I gave them, and now I'm just turning over a new leaf.
I'm told that there was an email circulated with a photo of you falsely representing you as Trayvon Martin. What was that?
That was a little weird. One of my friends privy me to, viewing the photo, and I just never even understood it. I seen it, and then I kind of just turned the other cheek. It just didn't make sense to me.
Did you recently get a new tattoo commemorating him?
I did, and the day after, I got a text message from, his mom just saying, how great she thought it was, and that she appreciated me keeping his memory alive, and I thought that was pretty cool.
How did you react to that whole case?
You know what? I watched the Zimmerman trial, and I was pretty upset. I'm not any way, shape, or form a racist guy. I really appreciate people of all ethnicities, around the world, and I'm well traveled. But I didn't think that was a just trial, if I can say so.
You can say so.
Yeah, if I can say so myself. I felt like a child, that was murdered that didn't really do anything.
Most people think if they had charged him with a manslaughter or something, they might have gotten a guilty verdict.
Yeah.
They went. Do you think so?
I think so. I think that if Trayvon's Martin lawyers would have, taken a different approach, that it might have got a different verdict. I do believe that.
You had a tough upbringing, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Did that upbringing inspire Robin Hood?
I want to say that everything that I've ever been through, any controversy or turmoil or any hurdles that I've leaped over, have all kind of contributed to who I've become today.
Next, Game reveals the origins of his name, what got him to change his tune and break into the hip-hop scene. All next. Stay with us. I salute you, man. That's great. We're back on Larry King now. Our guest is Game. How did you get the name Game?
The name Game was given to me by my grandmother. She was, God rest her soul now. She was a really, really, really sweet little Texas lady. And she used to call me Game because when I was younger, I was pretty much good at everything. Not to toot my own horn, but I played basketball. I could, swim really good. I played football, soccer, baseball, video games. I was fast, and so she used to just say, that boy's game for anything. Old Texas saying, and sort of stuck with me. And when it became time for me to become a rapper, I kind of put the THE on it as a doctor would, earn their, degree and then become a doctor. So it's kind of, the THE is like my doctor.
What was your name?
Oh, my real name is Jason Taylor. That's not...
Just another name?
Just another name.
So you're Game?
I'm Game.
No last name, no first name, just Game?
Just a Game.
Describe your childhood.
My childhood was crazy.
Where'd you grow up, here?
I grew up in Compton, California. So early on, 8 years old, my dad molested my sister, and we were taken out of the home by child services and put in foster homes. Me and my sisters and brothers all broken up into different foster homes, which I didn't understand because, I just figured they should have families that would take us all, but we were split up, and that led, to us growing up in different areas. And, from my childhood, I became, a member of the Bloods, and of course I had a brother that was a member of the Crips because his foster home was, in a different area than mine's, and so that was at 8 years old. And after that, 13 years old, my older brother got killed in Compton over something that was really minute, and ever since then, I just was on a warpath.
Who raised you?
I grew up in a foster home till I was about in ninth grade. Then the judge warranted my mom custody over us again. But at that time, leaving my mom at 8 years old and coming back, 5, 6 years later, we didn't really see eye to eye.
You nearly escaped death yourself?
Yeah.
What happened?
I did the best that I could to be, a drug dealer. I tried to master it, and I wasn't really trying to, infest the community or anything like that. I was really just trying to survive, and somebody didn't like that. So one day at about 1 a.m. in the morning. You know, I get a knock on the door, and I was, you know, pretty greedy, so I opened it, trying to, you know, make one more sale. And what came through the door was three guys with that were armed, and I fought and, you know, wrestled on the ground with the biggest one, and I end up getting, you know, almost getting the better, you know, of that situation, and he just, you know, pulled the trigger, and I got shot in the chest. I guess they wanted to rob me for my money and, you know, things I had around the house, maybe drugs.
You had drugs and gangs and violence, and you were a basketball player. Do you think you could have played college basketball?
I played basketball and I sold drugs at the same time, and I ended up getting shot, and of course that was the end of my basketball career because I got shot in the ankle twice, once really close to my heart, under my arm, and a few times in, you know, in my forearms.
All right, so all this changed, I guess, through Dr. Dre, right? How did that all happen?
I went to see the Minister Farrakhan speak. I'm not Muslim, but for some reason I heard he was coming to town, and I thought that would be a good thing to do, you know, as far as taking the steps to change my life. So I went to see Minister Farrakhan speak, and it was pretty powerful. I didn't leave wanting to be Muslim or anything, and I really appreciated some things he had to say, and then others, you know, I didn't really care for. That was just my own opinion at the time. So I walked out of there, and there was a hip-hop summit that featured Snoop Dogg and Russell Simmons, and they had a freestyle contest, and I went and rapped in it, and I ended up doing a really good job, and I got, you know, contact, you know, with Snoop, and, you know, Snoop said that, you know, he might sign me.
He's my man.
Yeah, Snoop is cool, man. It never really happened, but I ended up meeting another guy who ended up taking my demo to Dr. Dre, and the rest is history.
Is Dr. Dre a role model for you?
Growing up, especially being from Compton and Dre being from Compton, Dr. Dre was definitely a role model for me, still is. I look up to him, you know, like a big brother, and he's been there, you know.
He's got an album coming, doesn't he?
They say it's coming one day.
What is the story with that?
You know what? Dre's album is like, it's sort of like the Jesus of music. You know, you're just waiting on it to come back.
And so he changed your life, right?
He definitely changed my life.
What made you good at hip hop? What made you different?
The birth of my first son. Before the birth of Harlem, I didn't really have, like I said, my brother died when I was 13, and after that, I didn't really care about life or didn't feel I had anything to hold on to. Growing up in Compton, losing a bunch of friends to, you know, to gang violence and stuff like that, there's really no hope, you know, sometimes. And so it wasn't to the birth of my son that I really figured out that this life thing is pretty serious, and not only do I have to worry about myself, but now there's a child, so I instantly kicked, you know, my life into fifth gear, and I never looked back.
Coming up more with the multi-talented and multifaceted Game. We'll be right back after the break. We're back with Game. If you want more information on the Robin Hood Project, he's giving away money. If you want to help, if you want to add to his giving, or if you've got a story that you know about that he could help, you can go to the, how does they reach you again? Through the documentary?
Yeah, the best way is my Instagram, which is just the documentary.
The documentary is, that was your first album, right?
Was.
Okay. And you've had a musical evolution going from that. Your recent one is Jesus Piece, right?
Yeah.
Explain that one.
Jesus Piece. Jesus Piece is a chain and a medallion that most rappers wear. 99% of us aren't even Christian. Some of us don't even believe in Jesus, which is kind of ironic because we're spending all this money on these Jesus pieces. So I wanted to do an album called Jesus Piece because I was kind of torn, you know, in the middle. Like, I really believe in Jesus, but it's kind of hard and it's contradictory and sort of hypocritical to say that you believe in Jesus and then, you know, commit all these, you know, heinous acts on the other hand. So I thought it'd be a good subject and a good concept to do.
Do you believe?
I definitely believe in Jesus.
You think hip-hop glorifies violence?
I think hip-hop glorifies everything.
But you sing it.
I definitely sing it.
So even if it glorifies violence, that's okay?
Doesn't stop Sylvester Stallone from shooting up stuff playing Rambo.
It is what it is.
It is. It's a form of entertainment.
Your children got any interest in singing?
My oldest son, you know, he's too busy into watching Miley Cyrus twerk to worry about, you know, being a singer. And then my middle son is, I don't know, he really loves music. He knows every song out by heart. Of course, the radio version, and so does my daughter. So we'll see.
How have you reacted to being famous?
Me?
Yeah.
You know what? I fully understand who I am in this, you know, in the total capacity of, you know, the world I live in. But I've always been humbled, you know, and that's what's kept me afloat. I think I'm probably the people's champion, and you know, I've always, my entire career from the early stages till now, always been, you know, pretty much just out there, you know, on the pavement in the streets with the people. From, you know, if it doesn't matter if it's going to get my own groceries or taking my stuff to the cleaners myself. Like, I don't really, you know, have any, you know, body that really does the day-to-day things for me.
But when you look back at your life earlier, and then now look at yourself, and you got all the money you live and need and stuff, what's it like? I mean, do you pinch yourself? Do you?
You know what? It has pros and cons. Along with a lot of money, you know, comes a lot of hatred and a lot of people that want handouts. And of course, you know, I do the best that I can, but then you can't help them all. So some friends become foes, some family, you know, becomes distant, you know, relatives, and that's just how it is.
You write all your own stuff?
I definitely do. That's where the money is.
You have to, not just performing. Most rappers write all their own?
Yeah, most of them. A few don't, but most of us do.
You're only 33, right?
Only. I love that. Say it again.
Yeah, well, when you're my age,
Oh,
it's
well,
only.
yeah.
I got ties older than you.
Yeah.
Where do you go from here, do you think? What do you... you look ahead, you're 50 years old. Well, you don't want to be a rap singer when you're 50, right?
You know what? I don't want to be a rapper when I'm 50 years old. At 50 years old, I expect
think
to
you'll be a mogul.
I think I'll be playing golf with you somewhere.
Are you expanding your brand? Are you going to do more with Robin Hood? How big will that get?
The Robin Hood project will probably be around as long as I am and after. It's something that I'm really keen on, and helping people is really put a positive spin on my life in this new age, and so I'll definitely be more focused on that in the future. I also got 60 Days of Fitness, where I'm working out with 30 to 40 people every morning on Runyon Canyon. So, yeah.
It's a lot of joy to give, isn't it?
It is a lot of joy to give.
What about the reality show on VH1, Marrying the Game? What is that?
Marrying the Game is a show that features myself, my fiance, and my 3 children, and of course, you know, our day-to-day friends and family. It's a struggle because at the end of the day, we went into the reality show as a wedding special. It was supposed to be 6 episodes, a wedding, and then never a season 2. Now here we are, still not married in season 2, trying to figure it out, which is weird because I can't really grasp the reason that we didn't get married or how we even got to season 2 when it was a wedding special. So it's funny having to try to figure out your life on TV.
Why didn't you get married?
You know what? It was her fault, Larry. It's always the woman's fault.
Naturally, but
Yeah.
what did she do wrong?
She got mad that I got a female assistant, and I went to Paris.
With the assistant?
And everyone else. It wasn't just me and the assistant. It was me and about 10 people. And so, you know, she wanted to call off the wedding or postpone the wedding, and yeah, it's been postponed ever since.
Why didn't you take Tiffany to Paris?
I was leaving for a day. She's a school teacher. She has to teach, and there was no real reason that, you know, she had to take off from work because these 30 children in her class, you know, they need the teacher. This, you know, Whitney Houston, believe it.
How old are the kids?
And she teaches 3rd grade.
Your kids are how old?
My kids are 10, 6, and 3.
Does the 10-year-old ask about whether you should get married or not?
The 10-year-old doesn't, but the 6-year-old seems to have a lot of questions.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll get married?
I think one day, yeah, I'll get married. I love to be married.
Does Tiffany still bug you about it, or now she called it off? So does she want to call it on? Why am I talking about this?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Did she text you or something?
No, I know. It's your personal life. You made it personal.
Yeah.
You made it public by doing a reality show.
Yeah.
So you introduced your personal life to the public, right?
She definitely texted you.
No, she didn't text me.
Yeah, no, she texted you.
No, she didn't text me.
Yeah, she texted you.
You got a thing about her.
Yeah.
You do have a thing about her. I can tell. Why, before we get to the next segment, we play a lot of games in the next segment, the tattoos.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what? When I was growing up, if you did something within the confines of the gang you were from, then you were able to get a tattoo in a certain space. And I don't know, I thought that reward was pretty cool. And so, I got my first tattoo, which was a teardrop for doing the wrong thing. And then after that, it was just tattoo
How many
after tattoo.
tattoos do you have?
I probably got about 100, over 100.
Why did you put a tattoo on your face?
Because I'm really was an idiot at that point in my life. Sometimes I look at it.
What is it, a star?
Yeah, it's a star with LA. Yeah, putting on for my city. You heard about that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, trying.
Okay. Next, we'll play a game of If You Only Knew, a little more on tattooing as well. Don't go away. We're playing a game with Game. We'll play If You Only Knew in a little while. I got a birthday coming up. If I had a tattoo, what should I do?
If I was Larry King, I would get probably on my forearm right here that picture of a portrait of Marilyn Monroe's when her skirt blew up.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool for you.
The 7-Year Itch. That was the movie they were making when that happened.
Yeah.
And Joe DiMaggio got very ticked.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, watching it. Yeah. Does it hurt to get them?
You know what? Every time I get a new tattoo, I forget how excruciating the pain is. It definitely hurts, all of them, every single one. So
To me, that's sick.
Yeah.
In other words, I got nothing to do today. I got an idea. Let's go get some pain. You had enough pain in your life.
I did.
Why do you take deliberate pain?
You know what? I still haven't figured that one out.
Okay, we have some social media questions for you. Miss Ferry Swag on Twitter. You've been in the game for 9 years now. Do you feel you still have more to rap about?
You know what? When people ask me questions like that, the answer is simply I cannot fit 33 years of life in five discs, 5 CDs. So, of course, there's always, events changing in my life and things happening. So there's always a new something to rap about.
Is rap music or is it spoken poetry in a sense?
It just depends on the artist. Are
you a musician?
I'm a musician, yeah.
Munzer60 on Instagram wants to know, how is your relationship with 50 Cent now?
I haven't seen him in about 8 years. So.
Was there a rift?
There was a rift. We had a shootout.
Oh.
In New York, in front of a radio station. So I think
guns.
Yeah, it was a little bit more than a rift.
Why?
Egos, young, dumb, ignorant. Who knows?
Who drew first?
The game.
You drew first?
Yeah.
The game. Nothing happened out of that? No crime? No nothing? No charges?
Nah, no charges.
Bradley Solar on Facebook. What direction will you take on your next album and what label will it be on?
Recently, a free agent. I was signed to Interscope for my last 5 albums, which of course are all platinum. And I've been taking a lot of meetings and on a lot of conference calls about my next move, and I haven't narrowed it down yet.
Do you like the business end of the business?
I love it because it just it further prepares you for the future and life, and makes me a good tutor for my kids as they grow.
Okay, we got If You Only Knew. I'll ask some quick questions and you respond. Favorite song you've written?
Favorite song I've written is probably Like Father, Like Son. It's I walk people through. It's a song on my first album where I walk people through the entire process of the birth of my first child.
Favorite rhyme?
Favorite rhyme?
Do you have a favorite? You might not have a favorite.
I do. I think it might be Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice.
Biggest splurge? What's the biggest thing you spent money on?
Oh, the biggest thing I spent money on was probably a house, which was a smart thing to do.
Big house?
I got a few.
You have a few houses?
Yeah.
What do you do with a few houses? You rent them out or you just visit them?
You know what? My financial advisor is always saying, we need to rent these houses out or we need to sell them. And I'm always like, I just don't like people in my house, Like, what if they get dirt on something?
So how many homes do you have?
5.
All in L.A.?
Yeah.
Do you visit them all?
I haven't been to 3 in maybe like 6 months, but yeah, I try to.
But they just sit there?
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest regret?
Oh, man. The biggest regret, I don't have regrets. I just live according to how I feel after I brush my teeth in the morning.
Was there a moment you knew you had it made?
Yeah, when Dr. Dre said, "Welcome to Aftermath," I pretty much knew that I had it.
First girl you ever kissed?
Oh, kindergarten.
Kenny what?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. You
Yeah.
remember her name?
Alicia.
Alicia.
Under the desk. We were under a desk building.
Under a desk?
Yeah, man. Oh, it was like it was just, I remember, you know what? I felt like I was in Gone with the Wind.
Really?
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Did you ever remember what happened to Alicia?
You know what? I heard she's as big as a house now and got like 7 kids. True story.
Person you'd most look up to?
Person I most look up to would probably have to be Ice Cube.
Really?
Yeah.
Because?
I just like where he took it. Grew up in the same area I'm from, did an entire rap career. Most of it, had, big trials and tribulations, and, now he's an actor with, a grown family, and he's, made a lot of money in the movie industry. I just love how he went from here to there.
He's a natural.
He is. It's Ice Cube, man.
What about you in acting?
Me in acting, I'm sort of a cross between, like, if I'm real serious, then I'm Tom Hanks, and if I want to get a little bit less serious and kind of, playful, then I'm probably Denzel. So I'm like Denzel Hanks.
Denzel Hanks?
Yeah.
You got it, Game. Great guy. Thanks to my guest, Jason Taylor, a.k.a. Game. Be sure to follow his Robin Hood project on Instagram for the latest updates on his donations. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at Kingstings. I'll see you next time.